Hanuman, the mighty Vanara, the son of the wind, the fearless servant of Rama, the mountain carrier, the leap across the ocean legend, the sacred reminder that true power does not need to be loud, insecure, or standing in the mirror flexing like destiny owes it rent. Hanuman is strength with devotion. That is the secret. Not strength for ego, not strength for showing off, not strength for bullying the room and calling it confidence. Hanuman carries the kind of strength that kneels before purpose, then gets up and does the impossible. And baby, that is where the collective needs to lean in. Because many people want power, few people want assignment. Everybody wants to be chosen until the mission says, wonderful, now be disciplined, loyal, humble, brave, and stop acting like one inconvenience means the universe betrayed you. Hanuman does not teach lazy magic. He teaches sacred action. He teaches devotion with muscles. He teaches love that moves. He teaches faith that does not just sit in the temple smelling incense and making aesthetic statements. Hanuman's faith jumps oceans, enters enemy territory, finds the missing queen, carries messages, burns illusions, brings healing, and still does not walk around saying, I'm kind of a big deal. That alone makes him rare, because some people do one helpful thing and immediately become a press conference. Hanuman does impossible things, then points back to Rama. That is spiritual maturity, power without ego, strength without vanity, service without self-erasure. And that last part matters, collective, because humility does not mean thinking you are nothing. Humility means knowing the power in you comes from something greater than your ego. A weak person says, I am nothing. An arrogant person says, I am everything. Hanuman says, I am strongest when I remember who I serve. Now that is a temple bell. Let's go deeper. One of the great teachings around Hanuman is that he had forgotten his own strength until he was reminded. The power was always there. The capacity was always there. The divine inheritance was always there. But memory had to be awakened. And that is the collective's mirror. Some of you are not powerless. You are unremembered. You forgot your voice because people trained you to whisper. You forgot your courage because pain kept using your nervous system like a rental car. You forgot your gifts because family systems, jealous friends, stale lovers, dusty employers, and spiritual freeloaders kept telling you to stay realistic. Realistic? Please. Most people use realistic to mean small enough that I do not feel threatened. Hanuman says that is not realism. That is a cage with vocabulary. When destiny called him, he remembered. And when Hanuman remembered, the ocean became a hallway. That is the lesson. The obstacle did not shrink. His memory expanded. Beloved, some of your mountains are not too big. Your memory is too small. You forgot what lives inside you. You forgot what your soul survived. You forgot how many times you fell apart and still showed up with your heart beating like a sacred drum in a burning room. You forgot that the same wind that knocked you down also taught you how to move. Hanuman is called son of the wind, and wind is breath. Breath is life. Breath is spirit moving through the body. Breath is invisible power making visible action. So Hanuman's medicine is not just strength. It is prana, life force, the power to rise, leap, carry, protect, and continue. That means when you return to your breath, you return to your strength. Not the shallow panic breath, not the I'm fine breath when your eye is twitching and your soul is writing resignation letters. The real breath, deep, present, steady, holy. The kind of breath that says, I am still here, and that is already evidence. Now let us speak on his devotion. Hanuman is loved because his loyalty is not weak. It is fierce. He does not serve because he lacks identity. He serves because he knows exactly who he is. That is a deep distinction. Some people serve from fear. Some serve from people-pleasing. Some serve because they want applause. Some serve because if they stop being useful, they think nobody will love them. That is not Hanuman. Hanuman serves from love. Love made powerful. Love with intelligence. Love with fire. Love with boundaries sharp enough to cut through foolishness. Because devotion does not mean letting everybody misuse your heart. Devotion means putting your heart in the right hands. That is where the collective must listen. Stop giving Hanuman-level loyalty to Ravana-level situations. Stop crossing oceans for people who would not cross the street with a proper sidewalk and favorable weather. Stop carrying mountains for people who complain about the view. Baby, be loving, but do not be spiritually ridiculous. Even devotion needs discernment. Hanuman teaches us to serve the divine mission, not every loud need that knocks at our door. Because some needs are assignments, some are distractions, some are tests, and some are just people who noticed you have strength and decided they would like to rent it for free. No, beloved, the wind has boundaries too. Now, one of Hanuman's most famous images is him opening his chest to reveal Rama and Sita inside his heart. That image is not just devotion, that is alignment. His heart is not cluttered with ego, revenge, performance, or let me prove myself to people with the emotional depth of a wet napkin. His heart holds what he loves. His heart holds the divine center. So the question for the collective is, what is living in your chest? Is it purpose? Is it truth? Is it love? Or is it the old argument, the old betrayal, the old shame, the old family wound, the old person who moved on while you kept renting them emotional property in your ribs? Hanuman opens the chest and says, make sure what lives in your heart deserves the house. That is slick wisdom right there. Because whatever lives in the heart drives the strength. If resentment lives there, strength becomes punishment. If ego lives there, strength becomes performance. If fear lives there, strength becomes control. But if devotion lives there, strength becomes miracle. That is Hanuman. He is proof that the strongest being in the room can also be the most surrendered. Not weak. Surrendered. And surrendered does not mean passive. Hanuman is not sitting around saying, I surrender, while ignoring the mission, avoiding the work, and calling procrastination divine timing. No. Hanuman surrenders, then moves. He leaps. He searches. He fights when he must. He heals when he can. He carries the mountain when details are unclear because sometimes wisdom says, if I cannot identify the herb, I am bringing the whole pharmacy. That is not overdoing it. That is mission urgency. And some of the collective needs to stop apologizing for being thorough. You were called extra because average could not solve the problem. You were called intense because half-hearted could not carry the assignment. You were called too much because the people judging you were built for smaller weather. Hanuman is not too much. He is precisely enough for the impossible. That is your mirror. Do not shrink because small minds mislabel sacred capacity. Do not dim because timid people fear momentum. Do not forget because old voices told you remembering would make you dangerous. Maybe it should. Not dangerous to the innocent. Dangerous to lies. Dangerous to bondage. Dangerous to every system that benefits from you forgetting your strength. Hanuman reminds the collective, your power becomes pure when your heart becomes aligned. Your strength becomes sacred when your ego gets out of the driver's seat. Your devotion becomes unstoppable when you stop wasting it on false altars. And your impossible leap begins the moment you remember who sent you. Core lesson. Here is what we learned tonight. Collective. Hanuman is not just the symbol of strength. He is the symbol of remembered strength. Power was already inside him. Destiny simply called it forward. That means your gift may not be missing. It may be waiting on memory, waiting on breath, waiting on courage, waiting on alignment, waiting on you to stop handing sacred loyalty to people who treat your spirit like a charging station. Hanuman teaches, be strong, but not arrogant. Be loyal, but not foolish. Be humble, but not self-erasing. Be devoted, but make sure your devotion is placed on the right altar, because strength without love becomes destruction. Love without strength becomes exhaustion. But strength married to devotion? That becomes Hanuman. That becomes the leap. That becomes the mountain carried. That becomes the ocean crossed. That becomes the soul remembering itself so deeply that even fear has to move out the way. The Ramayana gives us Hanuman as the devoted ally of Rama, the one who leaps across the ocean, finds Sita, enters Lanka, and becomes one of the great heroic forces in the rescue mission. The Hanuman Chalisa celebrates Hanuman as the mighty servant of Rama, filled with strength, wisdom, devotion, courage, and protection. Temple art, epic painting, and devotional tradition preserve Hanuman as the beloved symbol of service, humility, fearlessness, and spiritual power guided by love. Receipts are on the altar, beloved. The monkey general has paperwork. May the collective remember, you are not weak because you forgot. You are sacred because you can remember. The breath is still in you. The mission is still calling. The ocean is still crossable. The mountain is still liftable. The heart is still worthy of being cleared and filled with what is divine. Let Hanuman stand at the doorway of this channel as a gift to every seeker who forgot their own strength. Let him remind the tired ones that courage can return. Let him remind the wounded ones that loyalty belongs first to truth. Let him remind the gifted ones that humility is not hiding. Let him remind the powerful ones that strength reaches its highest form when it protects, heals, and serves something greater than pride. Beloved collective, do not waste your sacred wind. Breathe like you remember. Stand like you were sent. Move like the mission matters. And when life points at the ocean and says, impossible, may your spirit answer with Hanuman's medicine, only because I had not remembered yet. Ahll, grounding receipts. World History Encyclopedia describes Hanuman as the wind god's monkey child, a powerful and learned devotee of Rama, able to change form, leap across the ocean, locate Sita, and carry the mountain of healing herbs. The Met's Ramayana collection notes Hanuman's role as Sugriva's messenger, Rama's ally, and a major figure of bravery, loyalty, and devotion in Ramayana art.
To every soul who made it to the end of this scroll, congratulations. You didn't just watch another video, you trained your attention, exercised your discernment, and invested in the one treasure no one can steal from you: wisdom. Graduation isn't receiving all the answers. It's finally learning how to ask better questions. If today's scroll sparked a thought, healed a wound, challenged an old belief, or simply reminded you that you're not walking this path alone, then pass the lantern forward. Someone out there is still searching in the dark, and your share might be the light they were praying for. Join the collective by subscribing and turn on your notifications so you're there when the next scroll or codex is unveiled. Time has a funny habit of delivering the lesson right when it's needed. The algorithm is simply humanity's latest attempt to organize chaos. Sometimes it even succeeds. Until we gather again, keep your heart soft, your mind sharp, your spirit grounded, and your discernment polished. Question with courage, learn with humility, lead with compassion, walk in wisdom, walk in love. We'll meet you in the next scroll. Ahll.
Until next time, your Sea Star Curacy, channeled by 3611027, the Beautiful Whisperer. Our Sea Star Devalan seal. Apply the news you can use.
You only have to say nothing. I already know. I know.